Tonight, Blue Jays excitement reaches a fever pitch.
Go Jays, go!
How people in the capital are taking in a huge Game 2 against the LA Dodgers as merchandise sales go through the roof. Paid parking rules spark frustration and catch some drivers by surprise.
I park here all the time. I didn't know that this change was coming into effect this weekend.
How and where the city is making it more expensive to park. And the Redblacks look to move on after a season to forget.
You got to do what's best for the organization. This is what we felt was best to get to the next level of the organization.
Head coach Bob Dyce is out as players look to the future. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Blue Jays fever has swept the nation and the capital is certainly no exception. After a dominant Game 1 win in the World Series, the Toronto Blue Jays are aiming to take a 2-0 series lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight, and capturing that excitement here in Ottawa today was CTV's Dylan Dyson, who joins us live now with more. Dylan.
Austin, last night's 11-4 win over the Dodgers was a moment many won't soon forget, and the excitement of the World Series has most of Ottawa going all in for the team from Toronto. Off and running at the Great Cookie Run at Lansdowne Saturday morning, Ottawa resident Adam Hargraves still has a long way to go before his finish line tonight.
I'm going to the Jays game. Game 2.
2 tickets in the last row of the nosebleeds cost him $1,000.
Go Jays, go!
It's worth it just to be in the building.
My earliest sports memories are the catch at first base by Joe Carter and the big jump and then the big home run the next year. So those are my earliest sports memories with my family, watching TV in the basement.
And a high drive to deep right center field. It is gone!
After a historic performance in Game 1, Blue Jays fever is sweeping the capital, with fans trying to buy up any merch they can find.
This Bichette left. Pretty much sold out of everything else. Pretty much everything, yeah. We've got a couple shirts left, one jersey left, and then we have a couple caps, but pretty much everything else we sold out of.
Before Game 2, former Ottawa resident Shannon Archer will be part of the Armed Forces group presenting the Canadian flag on field.
So I grew up and still continue to go to spring training games. So this is to be at a World Series game, to be carrying the flag and representing the CAF, and to kind of throw a throwback of my love for the game to my family and my grandparents.
And after a massive Game 1 win.
But what a monster inning. And now Kirk lifts one to left center. This is tagged well. Gone!
The energy is palpable for those planning to watch here in Ottawa or Toronto.
Overwhelmed, emotional, I'm sure it'll be very intense. It'll be like I don't know, maybe like the Carlson pass in 2017 in the first round against Boston, that kind of atmosphere, just very intense emotion across the board.
I'm going to say Jays in 6.
I think they're going to come out and win in 6, 4-2 Blue Jays.
And if you don't have plans to watch the game somewhere already, plan to watch it at home. Every bar or restaurant we spoke with today say their reservations are booked solid for tonight's Game 2. Austin.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Everyone's going to be watching. Dylan, thank you very much for this. CTV's Dylan Dyson reporting live for us tonight. Well, the city has slammed the brakes on free parking in parts of the capital. Drivers now forced to pay to leave their ride by the curb, as paid on-street parking on evenings and Saturdays goes into effect, and bylaw officers are now enforcing those new rules. CTV's Kimberly Johnson joins us live after spending the day speaking with some drivers. Kimberly, what are you hearing?
I'm hearing that some people were taken by surprise by this, Austin. Yes, and officers were out issuing tickets today. And so this morning I saw at least a dozen tickets handed out in one Centertown area alone, as some drivers got caught off guard by the change.
Running an errand for a friend downtown has come at a new cost for Anthony Shikolsky.
I park here all the time. I didn't know that this change was coming into effect this weekend.
He says that he checked the street sign before he parked, But he missed a small change, saying here, paid parking now runs on Saturdays.
It's getting harder and harder to get downtown. You know, I'd prefer to take public transit, but it just doesn't run reliably enough for me. It's expensive to drive, and there's no parking anywhere that I can find long enough for me.
It's one of 4 neighborhoods in the city that is now seeing additional paid parking hours, a move City Council approved in a bid to encourage vehicle turnover in high-demand areas. On Saturday morning, bylaw officers could be seen cracking down. In Centretown, giving out at least a dozen tickets around Laurier and Gloucester alone.
I think there's so many more important issues to take care in this neighborhood.
Love it. I live in the area, and it means my visitors actually have a chance at a parking spot near my building.
The 4 neighborhoods include the Byward Market, Besserer, and King Edward areas, as well as Little Italy South, which now have paid parking extended until 7:30 p.m. from Monday until Saturday. And in the Glebe, south around Bank, throughout the week, there are extended paid parking hours until 7:30 p.m. and on Saturdays until 5:30 p.m. While in the downtown area, from Parliament Hill to north of Gilmore, drivers now have to pay for parking on Saturdays.
We attract people from as far as Smiths Falls and as far east as Rockland. They're members of our parish. We have weddings on Saturday. We have funerals now.
It's a move that caught St. Patrick's Basilica off guard.
All 3 levels of government and the Board of Trade are talking about bringing people downtown, revitalizing downtown. If people are going to be getting tickets, they're not going to be coming downtown.
Father Stephen Ames argues paid parking on Saturdays shouldn't apply around the church. Little Italy, the new rules for paid parking on Saturdays, taking some drivers by surprise.
It's $8 to park for 2 hours. $8 is my drink. So now the money that I had planned to spend on that, I'm now paying double. Why come down?
I don't particularly like it, but the city has to make income.
Ottawa bylaw says that parking regulations took effect on October 11th, and since then they've had a focus on education being underway. But again, now those rules will be enforced. A full list of parking changes can be found on ctvottawa.ca. Austin?
Yeah, it can be sometimes hard to follow, but Kimberly, thank you very much for this. CTV's Kimberly Johnson reporting live for us tonight. Well, taking our first look at the weather forecast, and we're going to get down to freezing conditions tonight. That's the expectation from Environment Canada, getting down to 0 this evening. Right now it is 7 degrees, mainly cloudy conditions, some overcast conditions over the course of the day. I'm going to mention snow, not because it's in the forecast, but only because we're coming up to around the average first snowfall of the season. Usually that happens around October 28th, but still no snow in the forecast here. You can see Gatineau getting to -2 this evening, but no precipitation, although there looks like there will be some flurries in Mont-Tremblant. As we take a look at tomorrow's high, warming up to 9 degrees, so nicer day than what we had today, and the sun is likely to peek through those clouds at some points over the course of tomorrow afternoon. Kemptville 9 degrees, Gatineau 10, Petawawa sitting at 8 degrees for tomorrow's high. Well, a major move today from the Ottawa Redblacks, the team parting ways with head coach Bob Dyce. The decision coming just hours after their season wrapped up, and now the search for new leadership is on. CTV's Josh Morano joins us live with reaction from the team. Josh.
Yeah, Austin, Dyce was a key piece of the Redblacks for 11 years, coaching them to a Grey Cup appearance in 2018. The team held a press conference today, voicing their appreciation for Dyce's dedication, but the message was clear. This team needs to change course after missing the playoffs yet again.
What happens?
A somber scene at TD Place following a disappointing finish.
Obviously a tough decision.
The Ottawa Redblacks announcing they've relieved Bob Dyce of his duties as head coach.
You don't take a decision like this lightly, but you got to do what's best for the organization. This is what we felt was best to get to the next level of the organization.
Appreciative of what he provided for us. You know, he loved us as a team. And, you know, I wish we could have been better for him.
Dyce spent 11 seasons in Ottawa, serving as a special teams coordinator from 2016 before stepping in as the 3rd head coach in Redblacks history midway through 2022 and led a playoff run in 2024.
I've been with him since I'm here, 2017. We've been to a Grey Cup in 18, and he was such a good mentor for me and a good coach, and the best coach I ever had.
But this year's struggles, especially at home, led to tough conversations.
If you don't have a healthy quarterback, it's really hard to win games. Like you look at the teams that are in the playoffs right now. I don't see a team with a backup quarterback playing in the playoffs. So the guy that touches the ball every time he's got to perform.
Finishing the season with 4 wins and 14 losses and missing the playoffs for the 5th time since appearing in the 2018 Grey Cup. Players on the team note this year was challenging, especially with some key injuries at quarterback.
We just, kind of weren't able to overcome that just with the number that we have. But, like I said, everyone deals with it, so and just have to truly overcome that.
I talked to it a couple weeks ago. We got to get him healthy, and we need to have a quarterback on the field for more games in the season. 8 out of 18. It just isn't enough.
While staff say moving on from Dyce stings for now, there is an urgency to turn things around and rebound next season.
Still has a ton of belief in the people within this organization, and I wish this all out that just a good conversation to end our time here together.
The team says they have ideas in mind of who they'd like to coach next season, but must wait until the offseason to make a final decision. Austin.
And we will be watching that closely. Josh, thank you very much for this. CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us tonight. Well, Ontario is promising it can get New Brunswick's Point Lepreau nuclear plant back up and operating more consistently. The two provinces have signed an agreement to work together for 3 years. CTV's Laura Brown has more.
Right now, Point Lepreau Nuclear Generating Station has been offline since July, undergoing upgrades, and that's costing MB Power $1 to $1.5 million a day. When it's running smoothly, the plant can power 30 to 40% of the province's energy needs. But the last few years have not been smooth. So New Brunswick is banking on Ontario for help.
But in Ontario, we're doing something different than no nation on earth can say. Not the French or the Brits. We are building on time and we are building on budget.
That is refurbishments at most of their 18 reactors. Last year, Point Lepreau was only operating 27% of the time. So the two provinces are signing a $25 million a year agreement for 3 years to see if Ontario Power Generation's nuclear expertise can get Point Lepreau operating at 90%. Do you feel confident that you and your government and I guess the technology that you have will get New Brunswick to where you are?
I'm confident that there's a strong commitment by the management team and by the government of New Brunswick to improve. And I think that's what we need. We need that realization that we can do it better.
We need to get to a schedule of planned outages where we're doing them every other year, not every year. And that would
the New Brunswick government says despite Point Lepreau's issues, it's not ruling out a Point Lepreau expansion, like adding a small modular reactor.
We do have future expansion plans on nuclear. Again, we believe that one of the biggest assets that we have right now is Point Lepreau as a nuclear-ready site for expansion. It's one of the only sites in North America.
The official agreement doesn't begin until April 1st and will carry through until 2029. And as you heard, MB Power is hoping by that time they have a more consistent Point Lepreau with the help of Ontario. Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
Halloween is, of course, right around the corner, but kids and families here in Ottawa, they had the chance to take part in several early events here in Ottawa this weekend. CTV's Camille Wilson was at some of those events and joins us now with a recap. Camille.
Austin, Halloween is only 6 days away, so this is the last weekend before the frightful day, and events are taking place all across the city. I checked out a couple of those events today for an early trick-or-treat and pumpkin fiesta.
Spooky season is creeping up and people are celebrating the holiday with some spooktacular events like Halloween hijinks.
My friend was looking for an activity for us to do, and she saw through City of Ottawa that they had this Halloween activity at the Kimberland Village, and we've been here before for other activities, so it was an easy decision.
Cumberland Heritage Village Museum with all things silly and fun, with playful Halloween entertainment, crafts, and airbrush tattoos.
They're having so much fun because there's so many thoughtful activities that we wouldn't be able to do this at home. So just for someone else to think of such extensive activities for the kids to do and enjoy.
The
living history site and recreated village transformed for the occasion.
Everyone can come trick-or-treating in all our wonderful heritage houses. So you can see all our villagers are in costume today, and you can come explore all the houses trick-or-treating, and you're able to see inside all the heritage houses.
Costumes filling the site.
I'm a cat. I'm Stitch. I'm a tiger. I'm a pumpkin. I'm a jack-o'-lantern. It's almost Halloween, and we wanted to have more fun before Halloween, and we wanted to see each other and get candy.
The fun doesn't just stop at Cumberland Village. More mischief at the Billings Estate National Historic Site for Halloween Heist.
It's a beautiful day to be outside, and Billings Estate is always wonderful. And they put on a really, really fun time for the kids. They get to dress up. They have so much fun here.
And it's not just the kids that have costumes. With more activities, a scavenger hunt, mask making, and decorating trick-or-treating bags, no doubt the kids are ready.
Happy Halloween!
Back at Halloween Heist.
This is a really good place, a great place. This is really fun.
Halloween is our favorite.
Both Halloween Heist and Halloween Hijinks runs until Sunday for more pumpkin adventures and fun for the whole family, including at City Hall for the Trick or Treat with Mayor Mark Sutcliffe, taking place tonight until 8 p.m. Admission is a donation to the Ottawa Food Bank's Baby Baskets program. Austin.
Okay, CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us tonight. Camille, thank you very much for this. Ottawa firefighters sprung into action yesterday, rescuing a kitten who got its head stuck in a car rim. The fire department posting these photos on X, saying a crew was called out to rescue the young cat named Cheesecake after it was unable to be set free with the help of some soapy liquid by the owner. Crews used a pedal cutter to safely cut the kitten free, and fortunately, there were no injuries involved.
We can also control, or at least heavily influence, is developing new partnerships and opportunities, including with the economic giants of Asia.
Still ahead, Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Asia working to solidify trade agreements amid prolonged tensions with the United States. Before we go to break, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. A beautiful shot of downtown Ottawa. It's currently 7 degrees. Ukrainian officials say Russia launched several missiles and drones in Ukrainian territory overnight, killing more people as the war in that region drags on. Officials say at least 4 people were killed and 16 others injured in the attack, which targeted several regions across the country. The attack comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky continues his push for expanded sanctions on Russia's oil and gas export earnings. And Russian officials say they downed over 120 Ukrainian drones overnight. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Carney released a joint statement with many European leaders, saying they are united in the desire for a just and lasting peace deserved by the people of Ukraine. The statement says Russia's stalling tactics are showing that Ukraine is the only party serious about peace, and that Putin continues to choose violence and destruction. And the Prime Minister has arrived in Malaysia for the ASEAN Economic Summit. Mark Carney has not spoken with U.S. President Donald Trump since he broke off trade negotiations with Canada, but the two leaders will cross paths at the summit. CTV's Judy Trin is traveling with the Prime Minister and reports on what could happen next.
The Prime Minister's plane did not encounter turbulence in the air, but he's bracing for tension on the ground in Kuala Lumpur. The original plan for Mark Carney at the Conference of Southeast Asian Nations was to advance a free trade agreement with ASEAN members. But he'll now have to split his focus after President Donald Trump terminated trade negotiations on Thursday.
And what we can also control, or at least heavily influence, is developing new partnerships and opportunities, including with the economic giants of Asia.
Carney's team spent much of the 25-hour flight strategizing how to engage the president.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
Trump was angry about this $75 million ad commissioned by the Ontario government, which criticizes tariffs and uses former President Ronald Reagan's voice.
Reagan was a big supporter of tariffs when needed, and we need tariffs for national security, and they totally turned it around because they're getting hurt by tariffs and we're gaining by tariffs.
Will you meet with Prime Minister Carney during this trip?
I don't have any intention of it now.
Carney was not expecting to see Trump in Malaysia, but while in transit, the White House announced that Trump would be attending ASEAN. That curveball means Carney will have to divert his attention to persuading the president to return to negotiations. Even though Ontario Premier Doug Ford has agreed to suspend the ads on Monday so trade talks can resume, the Prime Minister's office says there has been no contact with the White House. Judy Trin, CTV News, Kuala Lumpur.
And the future of several Canadian industries rely on restoring trade talks with the U.S. The auto sector, steel and aluminum, and the lumber industry are facing growing pressure from the tariffs. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
Canadian industries impacted by the trade war are trying to roll with the latest punch from U.S. President Donald Trump.
It's a never-ending story of ups and downs, and this is one of the downs. So we're looking forward to the next way up.
The aluminum sector is among those hardest hit. Trying to take this setback in stride, it says the longer tariffs last, the more the impact will be felt by Americans.
Which will just keep growing the pressure on the administration.
Similarly, the steel industry says it's waiting for further details and will continue to work to find a path forward.
And I think we've come a long way over the last few months, actually.
Before Trump terminated talks, Canadian officials were working on securing sectoral deals. The industry minister says the American administration's unpredictability comes as no surprise.
The question is not how I react, but what do we do? And my answer to that is head down. We need to concentrate on what we can control.
But the auto sector warns any delay in getting a deal could be dire.
We can't wait until July 2026 for a new USMCA. We can't wait until tomorrow for a new USMCA.
With the Prime Minister saying Canada stands ready to resume negotiations, business leaders are calling for a Team Canada approach to find a path back to the bargaining table.
And we need to make sure that everyone is aligned with what's taking place, recognizing that some may get some relief before others do.
This is not the first time Trump has abruptly ended negotiations with Canada in a social media post. In June, he called off trade talks over the digital services tax. Later that month, Carney scrapped it and talks resumed. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Turning now to some exciting news for Bon Jovi fans. The group is announcing a new tour in 2026 after releasing a new version of their last album this week. The tour announcement comes 3 years after lead singer John Bon Jovi underwent vocal surgery. The tour kicks off at Madison Square Garden in New York City and includes stops in London, Dublin, and in Edinburgh.
Been waiting for that decision since November 14, 1992.
After the break, a major development in the case of a Quebec man who says he was wrongfully convicted 33 years ago.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Kind of a gloomy, overcast day over the course of this afternoon and into this evening. A little bit of sunshine peeking out tomorrow and still no snow on the horizon. A lot of people will be cursing my name at home for even just mentioning the word, but I mentioned it because I think it's good news. We don't have to get the shovels out just yet. Another look at the weather forecast here. Satellite radar showing a little bit of weather activity, but mostly just the cloud coverage that we saw. A little bit of rain around Cornwall and Hawkesbury earlier today. Out east, we're looking at 10 degrees currently in St. John's. It's pretty gloomy, overcast everywhere you look. Charlottetown at 8 degrees, Halifax at 9. We're currently sitting at 7 degrees in Toronto at 9 degrees. They've got that mix of sun and cloud, mostly cloud right now, but That's what we are expecting a little later in the week. Sudbury at 2 degrees right now. Warmer out in the prairies, at least parts of the prairies. Winnipeg at 15 and Regina sitting at 20 degrees. Beautiful for this time of year, well above seasonal for them. 16 in Saskatoon. It's 10 degrees in Edmonton, 13 in Calgary. Raining in Vancouver. They've had some wet weather there over the past week or so. This evening, we're expecting to get down to 0, so a chance that things will freeze over a little bit and then warm up to 9 degrees and thaw all of that frozen material all over the ground. A mix of sun and cloud tomorrow in the Ottawa Valley as well. A little cooler tonight. -2 is the low this evening and -1 is the low along the Seaway before warming up to that same mix of sun and cloud and that high of 9 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. As we take a look at the 7-day weather forecast, you can see that it's going to be pretty consistently around 9-8 degrees for the next few days. Really nice conditions, though, with the sun poking out a little more often and then the rain returning on Thursday and sticking around into the weekend with highs of 12 degrees and 11 degrees on Friday and on Saturday. Well, there has been a major development in the case of a Quebec man who says he was wrongly convicted 33 years ago. The Justice Department says there may be grounds to believe there was a judicial error in his case. CTV's CTV's Quebec Bureau Chief, Jean-Viève Beauchemin, reports.
A ray of hope for Daniel Jolivet after 30 years behind bars maintaining his innocence. His case will be investigated.
Anxiety, stress, and all that, it kind of left me. Then I was all tingling and shaking. And it was I've been waiting for that decision since November 14, 1992.
His lawyer, Nicolas Saint-Jacques, received a letter he hopes will open prison doors and lead to his release within weeks.
There might be reasonable grounds to believe that a wrongful conviction probably occurred.
The Justice Department confirmed the case will now be sent for investigation, clearing a significant hurdle.
Maybe you could get released pending the final decision by the minister.
Jolivet was convicted of a 1992 quadruple murder. 2 drug traffickers were gunned down, along with 2 women who were at the wrong place at the wrong time. Jolivet was a career criminal, and evidence against him rested largely on the testimony of a former police officer turned criminal turned informant. His lawyer says he and his team discovered significant evidence that was not disclosed at trial.
There was a lot of information that showed that he wasn't at a restaurant the day after the murder where he would have confessed the murders to the collaborating witness.
The Justice Department's decision comes after years of refusals, but this summer, Quebec's Crown Prosecutor's Office concluded Jolivet may not have had a fair trial. He knows this is just a first step, but he has started to imagine life on the outside.
After 33 years, I'm coming outside there from another planet there. What's happening?
We still don't know just how long it will take to get through all the legal steps that could one day clear Daniel Jolivet's name. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
A class action lawsuit has been filed in connection with the deadly ramming attack at Vancouver's Lapu Lapu Festival in April. The City of Vancouver and Vancouver Coastal Health have been named among the defendants. CTV's Martin McMahon has more.
Make no mistake about it, April the 26th was the darkest day in the history of Vancouver.
It was an attack which left 11 people dead and many others injured at Vancouver's Lapu Lapu Festival. Now, nearly 6 months later, a man who was there has filed a class action lawsuit against the City of Vancouver, Vancouver Coastal Health, and Kaiji Adam Lowe, the man accused of carrying out the attack. John Lind is the plaintiff. He has suffered serious injuries as a result of the attack, according to the statement of claim. That includes PTSD, rib fractures, a punctured spleen and lung, a kidney laceration, and more. The suit makes a range of allegations, including that the city knew or ought to have known unlawful entry was reasonably foreseeable. The claims against Vancouver Coastal Health relate to Lowe, who suffers from schizophrenia, alleging he was allowed to be out on leave despite a significant history of mental health interactions and worsening mental health. In a September report, the city and its police department largely stood by the preparations for the event.
There's not a single city on the planet that can eliminate all risk all the time. But what we can do is plan smarter, act faster.
The report called for the feds and province to pass standardized event safety legislation.
When you standardize
public safety events, you create a basement or a platform where, the bar is set higher. It's consistent across the province. With that can come funding.
Lowe is charged with 11 counts of murder and 31 counts of attempted murder. A judge declared him fit to stand trial last month. And in terms of this class action lawsuit, it hasn't been certified at this point. The named defendants have 21 days to challenge the allegations, which have not been proven in court. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
It just really feels meant to be, and it's really cool to be a part of.
After the break, we'll introduce you to this Jays superfan who made a long trek to Toronto and is now living near the Rogers Centre. He's soaking up as much of this historic World Series run as possible.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Hey, it's time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
First up today is the Ottawa Fall Rock and Gem Show. This is back at the EY Centre all weekend. Features thousands of crystals, fossils, gems, and more from all across Canada and beyond. This is a fun one for the whole family. Admission is just $3. Family passes are $7, and kids 5 and under, they get in for free. Next on the list today is for the kids. Halloween is almost here, which means it's time to join Mayor Mark Sutcliffe for his annual trick-or-treat with the mayor. Head down to City Hall with your favorite costume on for a lot of fun. Admission is free with donations to the Ottawa Food Bank's Baby Basics program accepted. Don't forget to bring your own treat bag, too. And last today, you still have time to check out the Signatures Handmade Market at Lansdowne under the Aberdeen Pavilion. Over 130 vendors there this weekend selling everything from snacks to fall crafts and, of course, lots more. Tickets are just $8 and are available online or at the door. As usual, lots more happening this weekend around the capital. For the full list and all the details, check ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, my name's Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, in case you missed it this week, after a life-saving rescue in the Byward Market, the man who survived cardiac arrest says thank you to the bystanders who sprung into action and also to the emergency responders who together brought him back to see another day. CTV's Tyler Fleming has that story.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Hugs.
It's not the words. It's good to see you.
For a second chance at life, Merrick Windonsky is alive because of 3 bystanders' quick actions.
Just regular people, beautiful, who wants to help other people.
In late August, on an afternoon stroll in the Byward Market, Windonsky's life was about to change.
Just a little shopping, yeah? And I feel it up like something is happening in my foot. And I remember last thing, I was like blackout.
And saw that Merrick had collapsed. Nicholas Furman ran over. Windonsky was in cardiac arrest.
You could instantly recognize that he was in distress.
Another bystander began chest compressions as Furman called 911. Brandon Pollock answered.
We have a great system, the medical priority dispatch system, and it actually guides us through the entire, from start to finish, of what to do and how to help.
While paramedics were dispatched, an automated external defibrillator from the market building was used by trained employee Enoch Entruguache.
It was someone's life on the line, so I had to put my nervousness behind me and just, save the guy.
I feel first shot in my heart, so strong. And I just go up.
Paramedic Patrick Savard-Lemire arrived in minutes. Windonsky had regained consciousness. He was transported to hospital.
But when the chain of survival comes into play and there's bystander CPR and early defibrillation is usually when we see this type of outcome. They're rare, very, very rare, so it's great to see.
Across the city, there's about 1,500 registered AEDs. They're critical life-saving tools.
To anybody that can get any type of training, CPR training, it's very valuable.
And because members of the public use the training that they received, they knew exactly what to do.
And to know that he was due to see his daughter the next week, and now he can see her, and they don't have to attend a funeral. It's amazing.
Last week, Windonsky met the team of people who helped save his life, a moment he'll never forget.
That's why I'm here. Thank you for saving my life, saving my life for my kids. I have 3 kids. Yeah, and it's like they're happy that I'm still here.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
Excitement is building in Toronto. We are now less than an hour and a half away from the opening pitch in Game 2 of the World Series. Here is a live look at the Rogers Centre. As you can imagine, fans are absolutely buzzing. It's about 9 degrees there right now, cooling off over the course of this evening. So the roof is closed, but again, that excitement is palpable. And one dedicated Blue Jays fan has gone the extra mile for the World Series, driving all the way from Nova Scotia to cheer on his favorite team. Now he's living in a van near the Rogers Centre for the duration of the World Series. CTV's John Woodward has more.
Pretty simple setup.
This is where Kyle Knight has been living for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, right now it is a Jays machine.
Sure, it's small, but there's room for everything the Halifax native has picked up on his trip to Toronto. His Jays shirts, his Jays cups, his Jays hats.
You name it, it's got Jays on it.
The 2005 Road Trek 190 popular camper van has been his ticket to many games over the past 4 years.
We've probably put, my guess would be around 25,000 miles.
And it's been his home throughout the Toronto Blue Jays' extraordinary playoff run in a parking lot just south of the Rogers Centre.
I pay the parking guys every day, and I pay in multiple days, and yeah, I've paid every day that I've been here.
The series so far has been memorable. Knight has newly signed baseballs.
Rockin' Rick, rad dude, signed that one for me.
He's got photos with some of the greats. His wife Melissa flew in for one game. He and his friends sat near where the Springer Dinger landed. He thinks this is the Jays' year.
It just really feels meant to be, and it's really cool to be a part of.
Knight admits he's pretty superstitious. When the Jays were down 3-2 in the last series, he moved that van 7 spots to the right.
Springer hit the bomb right after I bought a pretzel, so now pretzels have to be part of this thing. So nice. All these little superstitions are just playful ways to have fun and hopefully just give the boys a little extra luck.
The van has its downsides.
You know, sleeping under the gardener it's a little loud.
But with all the sacrifices, he's doing something right.
Let's go, boys!
It's hard to get a hotel closer to the Rogers Centre than this. John Woodward, CTV News.
So we have to work on that, make sure we keep the bus infrastructure there. The other thing is...
After the break, we'll look ahead to the City of Ottawa's 2026 budget. Residents have had their chance to voice their concerns and their desires in consultations ahead of the budget's release.
Hey. CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video, upload it at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
CTV Ottawa is your home for local news.
Katie Griffin, CTV News in the Byward Market.
Centertown.
Canada.
Stittsville, bringing you local stories that matter the most to you.
Kimberly Fowler in Westboro.
Orleans. Barhaven.
From every corner of the community. In the Glebe. Manotick.
Merrickville.
Brockville.
From the team you trust, we are CTV News Ottawa.
Live, local, breaking news. CTV News Ottawa.
Welcome back. It is time to bring your attention to some stories that you need to know right now. And to help us do this, CTV's Kimberly Fowler joins us live in studio with the latest. Kimberly.
Well, thanks, Austin. The city that's developing its budget, and city staff held a public consultation today for your feedback.
So we have to work on that, make sure we keep the bus infrastructure there. The other thing is...
City councillors hosted a meeting this afternoon at the Ray Friel Centre. Consultations focus on how the budget is developed and what's in control, within the city's control, that is, when it comes to drafting the budget. There are more in-person sessions scheduled with dates and locations listed on the City of Ottawa's website. The draft budget will be tabled at Council on November 12th. A BC billionaire has lost a fight in court to move into properties previously occupied by Hudson's Bay. An Ontario court, a judge sided with landlords who doubted Ruby Liu could meet the obligations of the leases she wanted. The landlords, including Cadillac Fairview, were opposed to Liu buying 25 former Hudson's Bay leases for $69.1 million. Liu argued that the 3 malls she owns prove that she has what it takes to launch a new department store.
Back in, top of the penalty area again, Aparicio, and it will strike, and there's the goal! Atletico Ottawa, the 80...
Well, a record-breaking campaign saw Atletico Ottawa finish second place in the Premier League regular season. Now the fight continues in the playoffs for the North Star Cup. Ottawa is set to play in the CPL Championship semifinal tomorrow afternoon in Hamilton. The league's 2 top clubs will kick off their match starting at 2 o'clock, and you can catch the action on TSN 3.
Bangs that back for Jensen with a shot that pinballs on a couple of legs. Backhand pass it, but they score!
That's Ollie Lixell with his first goal as an Ottawa Senator from Thursday night. The team is back on the road tonight in Washington to face the Capitals. Washington has won 6 of their last 7 games, and their captain, all-time leading scorer Alex Ovechkin, is sitting on goal number 899. All eyes will be him on tonight on his quest to become the first NHL player to reach 900 goals. Now, puck drop for tonight's game is scheduled for 7 o'clock. Should be a good one to watch.
It will be, and I'm glad you mentioned Ovechkin. I mean, that is an incredible storyline, and it's worth noting as well, the Caps will play once here in Ottawa, and it'll be on New Year's Day, a matinee game.
Yeah.
So you got to imagine a lot of people are just going to catch a glimpse of Ovi.
Yes, if you're late out on a New Year's Eve, it's a 1 o'clock start, so
you'll have to set your alarms.
You have to be an Ovi fan for sure to check that out.
Yeah, exactly, but it'll be fun either way.
We don't know the people we help, but we don't know it does help, and it lessens suffering.
After the break, we will introduce you to the man who currently holds the title of Canada's greatest blood donor after decades of selfless dedication. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. The sun has set, and it's 7 degrees.
Tonight, reflections of a baseball legend.
They're all good buddies and friends, and they have one thing on their mind. We want it all.
What former Jays manager Cito Gaston thinks about this World Series run compared to the glory days of '93. Later on CTV National News.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now.
We've got a couple shirts left, 1 jersey left, and then we have a couple caps, but pretty much everything else we sold out of.
Blue Jays fever has swept the nation's capital. Restaurants and pubs are fully booked, and Jays merch is nearly sold out as Toronto and LA square off in Game 2 of the World Series.
It's $8 to park for 2 hours. $8 is my drink. So now the money that I had planned to spend on that, I'm now paying double.
More paid parking in 4 areas of the city, extended hours, and a bylaw crackdown that caught many drivers by surprise.
You got to do what's best for the organization. This is what we felt was best to get to the next level of the organization.
And looking back on a tough year for the Redblacks, head coach Bob Dyce is out as players and management look to put this season behind them. And now, last check at your weather forecast, plus your 7-day forecast, waking up to about 1 degree. So just off of our low this evening, 0 is the low. Potential to get some ice out there, some ice building up on cars and all that, so be prepared for it. We do have a high of 9 degrees up until Thursday when the rain returns with a 40% chance, carrying that into the weekend. 12 degrees is the high next Friday, 11 on Saturday, but again, expecting it to be rather wet. Time now to see what our news team is working on for tonight. Kim.
Well, we do have a baseball game going on tonight,
right.
as you know. We also have the Mayor Halloween party going on at City Hall, so check out that as well. But Game 2 of the World Series, it's going down at the Rogers Centre tonight in Toronto. Jays hitters put on a clinic last night in the 6th inning. Could we see more of that tonight? Well, we know that Bo Bichette, who was in the lineup last night, he's not in the starting lineup tonight, but he's available to come off the bench. Kevin Gausman is your Game 2 starting pitcher. Joe Carter will be throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, and the Jonas Brothers, they're performing before the game as well. So the game is scheduled to start just after 8 o'clock. And of course, you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
Looking forward to that. The reaction here in pubs has been berserk.
Fantastic.
It's been really
I love
fun
it.
to follow. Okay, finally for us tonight, a Quebecer who holds a prestigious title right across Canada.
Yeah, he's Canada's greatest blood donor, rolling up his sleeve more than 1,700 times so far.
We don't know the people we help, but we don't know it does help, and it lessens suffering. I don't see a difference between 1,700 and 100. All those donation counts, and you never know when something happens to you, who gave me that blood or that plasma, those platelets.
Jean Bernier says his reasons for donating don't stem from any kind of personal trauma or tragedy. He donates simply because his mother raised him to be generous. Bernier donated blood for the first time at 18 years old, and he was recently recognized at a university football game as well for his continued donations. He hopes he can continue donating as long as possible, but he says that he's welcoming anyone to try to take his title from him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've donated blood maybe a handful of times, and every time I do, I feel like I'm, helping out. So it's a good thing to do if you get a chance to do it.
Absolutely. And not only donating blood, but donating plasma as well. It's absolutely crucial. It's always in need. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.